Dude, it's safe to say Battlefield might be back.
Delta has been lost.
Hostiles are assaulting Charlie.
Let's go! Good job!
Be advised, hostiles are attacking objective Charlie.
There's no doubt in my mind, this is as close as New DICE has been to replicating that old school Battlefield feel. Overall, this game is a good game. I could sit here all day, and there's a long list of stuff this game needs to critique in order for it to be a good Battlefield game. Or rather, a great Battlefield game. Because I already think it's a half-decent Battlefield game. It's pretty good, it's fun. Checks a lot of boxes off, but not quite all of them. This video is not really going to be about the bad hit registration, the TTD issues, all these clear issues that can be ironed out. Even some more fundamental issues such as the flight controls and flight physics of the helicopter specifically. Very weird flight controls. They handle very weirdly. I'm convinced that someone has lost the file on the Battlefield 4 physics on the helicopters because they can just never seem to get helicopters right ever since Battlefield 4. That game just had the best feeling helicopters. And even something like the class balance is questionable. And I could also mention something a little more fundamental, like the soundtrack of this game really not having much of an identity. It feels very Modern Warfare. It feels more like a Call of Duty soundtrack than a Battlefield soundtrack. Well, that's all stuff for another video of a list of critiques that this game could work on. What I'm going to talk about today is something that I think is far more fundamental to the game's release. It's advertisement and how it's going to be marketing itself towards new players and returning players alike. The maps. The maps in this game definitely do not really feel like Battlefield maps. The game itself may play like some human hybrid style Battlefield 4 mixed with MW 2019. It's a very cool formula they're throwing together here, but I really don't think that the maps that they're using to complement it with is a good idea. I think it's going to cause Battlefield to lose its identity, which is the all-out vehicle warfare large-scale maps with some infantry maps, you know, thrown in there for a little bit of spice. Overall, we've only seen these three beta maps, plus we know Operation Firestorm is returning. So, I mean, dude, we played 50% of these maps. That's 50% of the maps coming to the game we've played. And these maps, just as beautiful as they look, they really have no fundamental design to them. They're kind of just flags puked onto a screen in an order that is... You're just rotating around flags, capping and losing, versus other Battlefield games where you would, there'd be points of interest around a larger area that you would have to traverse between. And the maps, the flags themselves even had names for each individual flag, which is not a thing here because these flags are so forgettable. There's no, like, alleyway, there's no town square, monument, there's nothing like that. Like, there's no points of interest on the maps. It's just random buildings chosen or random courtyards chosen to be flags. There's a serious lack of identity between the maps in this game, such as how you got a map like Liberation Peak that feels like it's been artificially shrunk to fit this play flow of puked maps or puked flags out on the screen for people to run between, because that whole river section on the downside of the map, there, like, can we get some flags down there to maybe add a little bit of space between the flags in this game? There's very few times where you go more than 10 seconds outside of the flag boundaries before getting into a gunfight in this game. I really think back to maps like Bandar Desert and Alborz Mountain, where they had incredible pacing between flags, and they were very large maps. Yet you still felt like you were in firefights at all these mini little outposts around the map. It was very cool, and I really hope that we're getting something like that in this game. I hear that Mirok Valley is supposed to be the largest map in this game, but I'm not entirely sure that that's going to fit the needs if they keep using this map design philosophy I'm seeing on these beta maps. I really hope we don't fall into a situation to where the remastered maps that are coming are the best maps in the game. That would suck. Or Battlefield Portal has community maps that get made and they get added to the public playlist every week. That could be another thing they could do to save it, because as far as I can see, if these maps that we played, which represent 50% of the maps come into the game, if this is what we have to expect for the map design formula, I'm really worried about the longevity of the vanilla maps in this game. Like I said, Portal could save it if they start adding community maps quickly. It could save it, but I really do not see the replay value on these maps specifically, because there's not enough variety for Battlefield players on these maps, because you would have maps like these that are in the game, like Scene Crossing. I'm not going to say Grand Bazaar, because Grand Bazaar had very open areas on the edges. Very much the Aftermath DLC. That's really what I mirror this to, is the Aftermath DLC on Battlefield 3 really seems like the inspiration here for these maps, from what I can tell. Very urban, Call of Duty-esque. Even the soundtrack. But there's a whole list of stuff wrong with this game. That, in and of itself, what I have said is probably the most important thing. I really feel like that needs to get addressed right away, because the maps are really what give the life and longevity into your game, and what people appreciate the most, because it's going to be what they're playing on the most. And I really, really am hoping that the remaining maps in the game offer a lot of variety.